personal protective equipment for handling and administration of hazardous drugs. We want to make sure we have all the supplies needed in the room. We're going to have a yellow HD waste bin, and we want to make sure there's the laminated HD precaution sign on the outside of the door. We also want to make sure we have all of our PPE supplies. We need our chemo gown, our surgical mask, goggles, and our extended cuff gloves. We also want to make sure we can perform hand hygiene prior to putting on our PPE. So we're going to perform hand hygiene. And we're going to don our inner gloves. We're going to next put on our chemo gown. This gown has cuffs on the end, which is different than an isolation gown. You want to make sure the inner gloves are underneath the cuff and that the gown is tied and attached at the neck as well. Should be a Velcro or a plastic tape. These gowns are single use only and should not be reapplied. We're next going to don our outside gloves, being sure to pull them so they extend over the cuff. Outer gloves must be changed every 30 minutes or when torn, punctured, or knowingly contaminated. Next, we're going to put on our mask, ensure that it's a proper fit. And then we're going to place on our goggles. These are reusable goggles. There's also a set of goggles that can go over eyeglasses as well. Eyeglasses and prescription eyeglasses and safety glasses are not enough protection. Next, if we are programming the pump, before we touch the pump, because we would have been touching our IV bag, we would remove our outer gloves. Next, if we had to program the pump, we'd be able to do so. Now we're ready to doff the rest of our PPE. We're gonna pull off our gown. We wanna make sure we pull from the back to the front, kind of the inside technique. Being careful not to contaminate yourself and putting it in the yellow waste bin. We would not pull the gown overhead as that could contaminate you. We're now going to be removing our goggles, using the headband on the sides of the face, avoiding touching the lenses. These will not be thrown away. You would place these on the Chex pad to be washed. Next, we are going to remove our mask, grabbing at the strings. Next, we would remove our inner gloves. And be able to perform hand hygiene. In this video, we're using hand sanitizer, but we would be using soap and water. We would next want to put on another pair of gloves and a mask to clean the goggles. We'd use our wipes to clean off the goggles and then let those dry. And then we dispose of our mask and our gloves back in our yellow bin and make sure our bin is closed. And again, hand hygiene, which would be soap and water.